Hey guys, welcome back. How are we doing? Happy holiday season officially. Let's talk about my 2026 anticipated releases. Let's just jump right into it. Let's not dawdle. I'm going to be clear that my Goodreads, always linked down below, I have an anticipated shelf for every year that I've been actively doing BookTube. So if you're curious to see all of my anticipated releases, they're there, especially the ones that are later in the year that I'm not going to talk about or are hypothetical at this moment. So all of the books that I'm sharing with you today are going to have dates for releases. I think all of them have covers. I know that they all come out between January and June of 2026, and I would say a lot of them are authors that I've read from before. So these are just things that I'm really looking forward to. I have a lot more on my radar, a lot more that I'm interested in. There's so much romantasy coming out, and I was like, do I want to talk about it? But I'm like, I'm trying to keep these to true anticipated books, like really hyping up. I don't even know if these are going to be all of them that I'm like super excited about. Again, there's over 50 on my Goodreads shelf, so I have a lot, but I don't want to talk about all of them. I just want to let you know that that's what this is going to be. We're going to talk about my anticipated releases, the books that I'm really going to try and get to this year, like for sure. Out of many books that are going to end up on my shelf on Goodreads, I want to make sure that these are the ones that I try to prioritize. So the first one does have a different publication date. You can find it on Goodreads right now. Bound by Sea and Blood by Ava Alexandra, Irish content creator here on YouTube. She does commentary and reactions to things, and I've enjoyed her channel for like a couple years. Like, I started watching her when she was much smaller, but she's grown a lot since then. I don't really check in with drama channels as much as I used to. I kind of put them on when I need background noise, and she's one of the channels that I'll follow onto. But she has written her first book in, I believe, a series. It's a romantasy. It's mostly fantasy, but there is romance in it. It's mermaids, it's folklore. I'm looking forward to it. I'm intrigued to see how it goes. I know that she had to push the release date to early 2026, so I'm not sure exactly when it comes out, but this is something that's definitely on my radar and I'm definitely interested in. It says, on Innis Alta, peace is only ever borrowed, the sea remembers every debt. Bound by Blood and Sea is the first book in the Drowned Gods series, perfect for readers of The Cruel Prince, To Kill a Kingdom, and The Jasmine Throne. So I'm expecting some political stuff. I'm expecting some romance for sure. Definitely the mermaids, enemies to lovers, maybe a bully romance, who knows. I haven't read The Jasmine Throne, but that is one that I really would love to get to. The next book I have on this list comes out January 13th, and it is A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. This is a book, one of the three. I have 3 NetGalley arcs for 2026, early 26. This is one of them. The next one will also be a NetGalley arc that I have. So I'm excited to get to this. It sounds good. It's a romantasy book. It's deadly tarot, which is something that I'm not reading enough of because I haven't read all the ones that have come out. I'm looking at you, Arcana Academy. I love the idea of card magic, though. It's one of my favorite, like, I guess you could call it a micro trope. I love the concept and idea of magic cards. Caraval really scratched that itch for me, and I've kind of been hunting for it ever since. So I love that we're getting so many tarot magic systems. It's doing something for me. But A Vow and Vengeance is a deadly tarot, wicked schemes, dangerous alliances. Can you survive the Forge? Sexy, action-packed, and brimming with magic, A Vow and Vengeance is an unputdownable romantasy debut. So I am, of course, it's interesting. Okay, so the main character's name is Rune, and she has a love interest named Draven. Interesting name choice. Apparently the tropes are enemies to lovers, fake dating / fake fated mates, coming of rage, and there's only one bed. It's interesting when the Goodreads synopsis is giving me the tropes. I don't hate it, but I don't trust it. Also, another thing is a book that I'm not going to talk about, and I don't even remember the title, that I was like hesitant and like reading about before chatting today, literally says like, oh, I don't remember the tagline exactly, but it was like, every reader is reading this right now. And I'm like, babes, it doesn't come out for a couple months. Like, what do you mean everyone is raving about it on social media because no one's read it? Annoying. But yes, A Vow and Vengeance I'm looking forward to. I'm really excited. I will let you know. I'm hoping to get to the arc at a reasonable time. Preferably before this book comes out, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But our loved author of What the River Knows has a new, I don't know if it's a standalone or if it's going to be the first book in a series. It does not say. But Isabel Ibanez has written Graceless Heart. I have an arc and I'm so excited. So it's historical romantasy, a lush, atmospheric, and achingly magical standalone adult fantasy romance. in the Renaissance Italy. I'm so freaking excited. One, this cover is absolutely gorgeous. It is such a stunning cover. Two, I really loved What the River Knows. I hated Where the Library Hides. It was a terrible ending to a duology, but What the River Knows killed it in like Egypt atmosphere. I did really like the romance in the first book. I'm so excited for this, especially being an adult. I'm curious to see like that transition. I do have another book from this author that I haven't read that's like a backlist, so I'm really excited to explore more with this author. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. This is maybe like definitely like one of my most anticipated, and it comes out in January 13th to be exact. Also, sorry, I know these aren't going to be in order. I have them in order of months, but not necessarily by dates. I'm not that organized today. Next, we have another favorite author of mine. Shani Trotsky has given us The Swan's Daughter. This comes out January 6th. It's a lush and romantic novel. A prince is only as good as his beating heart, and a maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and the truth become impossibly tangled, the two must figure out how to survive together or fall completely apart. To find love is a curse. I'm so excited. One, the cover is gorgeous. If you want to know anything about me, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride is one of my all-time favorite books. That book did something to me, and I've never been the same ever since. So I'm so excited to be getting another book. This one definitely feels more fairy tale and definitely more fantasy than The Last Tale Bride, but I'm just so excited. Another January 6th release, which I really should find on NetGalley, like so bad. One of my favorite series right now in this current moment is Air Awakens. I started reading it back in October. I'm slowly but happily making my way through, and I'm finishing the series before this year ends. Like, mark my words, it's going to happen. And Elise Kova is gracing us with another romantasy. It's young adult, which so is Air Awakens. Not a problem with me whatsoever. I'm so excited to read literally everything this author has ever written all 2026. I cannot wait. But we have Dragon Cursed, which is a dragon romantasy. And I know, I don't care. I don't care if Fourth Wing has pioneered this. I'm here for the dragons. The moment you see a dragon is usually your last. Since the dragons emerged, along with the scourge that ravaged our lands and people, there's only one human city that remains standing, Vingard. But the hellfire from above is nothing compared to the threat from within. For there is no worse fate than being dragon cursed. Slowly and excruciatingly, you'll be transformed into a mindless beast who destroys everything and everyone you love. Any of us could be tainted. Any of us could be lying. Any of us could be caught and killed by the authorities, and I'm terrified I might be next. There's only one other person who might suspect my secret. He's like my shadow, following me wherever I go. Part protector, part tormentor, fully annoying. Sometimes I think I'm just one of the million unfathomable secrets he keeps hidden, because Lucan definitely knows something. And if I'm dragon cursed, death might be the only mercy I get. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. January is going to feed my soul. I cannot wait. I'm so fucking excited. I have only pre-ordered one book so far for 2026, which we're going to get to, but I do think this might be one that I also pre-order. I know that it's highly likely that it's going to be on KU. I might want to wait and see if potentially it gets in a book box before I go and buy it, but I'm so very excited for this one. The next book really needs no further explanation. The companion sequel to First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and Now Back to You, is coming out in February 24th. I'm very excited. I rather enjoyed First Time Caller. It was a 4-star read for me, but I am excited to see the Weatherman get his romance, and I'm looking forward to it. I really loved the way that B.K. Borison made the city feel like a small town. I thought that was really cool and just like very cozy in a way. So I'm very excited for this one. I think this one might honestly be better, which will be crazy, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm really looking forward to this one. So this next one I'm a little hesitant on. I'm not going to say it's a full anticipated release. You guys are going to have to tell me if it sounds interesting, if it's something that we're, going to vibe with, but there's a few Academy-focused Dark Academia books that I'm like, I want to read it, but I don't know if I'm actually like, if they're going to be good, If they're all debuts or authors I haven't read, so I'm not sure. A lot on my radar, but this is one that I wanted to pick out. Wicked Onyx by Debbie Cassidy. This comes out February 10th, the day after my birthday. In a ruthless magical academy where she's cursed and powerless, the last Onyx must unravel dark family secrets and navigate dangerous alliances to reclaim her legacy and make those who betray her pay. You don't graduate Nightbane Academy, you survive it. Born into a sorcerer's bloodline, cursed and cut off from my power, I was accustomed to being an outcast. For generations, my bloodline carried the weight of a crime committed by our ancestors, but my mother's death changed everything. She left a clue that could prove our ancient texts hidden deep beneath Knight's Bridge Academy. The Academy is a fortress of power, housing the most dangerous enchanters and sorcerers, conscripted to keep horrors and echoes at bay. And as the last surviving onyx, I'm owed admission. It's plain and simple. Find the book and expose the Imperium as the liars they are. And then I'm sure there's going to be some romance, seeing as it's a dark romance. I'm very intrigued by this. It's definitely one that I'm going to keep my eye on and see like how people feel about it. If it's one everybody's like really loving, I'm definitely going to pick it up, but it's definitely on my radar. It's got a special edition. I'm not surprised. I would say that most of these books coming out, especially all of the romantasies, are all getting sprayed edges, all getting beautiful first edition prints. I'm going to remind you, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't need them. We don't need all of these special first prints. It's going to be okay. We don't need them. We don't need to waste all of our money on these books that may or may not be good. Let's wait for some reviews. Let the influencers spend their money because they make more than you. Let's let them do it, and then we can all just, benefit. Next up is another I'm so excited for, February 17th, The Sun and the Star Maker by Rachel Griffin. I've really enjoyed Rachel Griffin in the past. It's been, I think, 2 years, maybe a year, since we got Bring Me Your Midnight. So there's been some time in between where this has like really been worked on. It's young adult fantasy romance. There was a village so far north that most considered it the top of the world. And in that village, the sun fell in love with her star maker. I'm really excited to see how this one goes. It definitely feels like it's going to be a lot more romantic than her normal stuff. Her stuff is normally pretty like Pacific Northwest witchy. This feels like it's going to be maybe a secondary world with like a lot more fantasy. I'm very intrigued to see how Rachel handles this all. I'm looking forward to it. I've given her a 4-star and a 5-star in the past. I still need to read Bring Me Your Midnight, so I'm looking forward to this one. We have an author I haven't heard of with a book I'm very intrigued with. I really like the cover. That's what grabbed my attention at first. This is The Glowing Hours by Layla Siddiqui. And okay, let me just read the little pitch, the little blurb. A mind-bending revisionist gothic horror story about the fabled summer Mary Shelley began to work on Frankenstein, told by her Indian housemaid. For fans of Silvio Marito Garcia, Isabel Cañas, and Kathy Koha, which I've not read anything from her, but I'm just really intrigued by this. I like gothic horror. I don't have a lot of horror, but I really enjoyed Isabel Cañas, so I'm like, okay. But also, like, the story of Mary Shelley writing Frankenstein, going on, like, a little retreat with her friends, and them just, like, doing a little silly competition, and this masterful classic was born, which has made strides and influences everywhere. It is really cool to, like, flip that into something like The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz almost, where it's like, okay, you go on a little writing retreat and things go horribly wrong, but we are getting it from a perspective from a maid. I hope that this is really good. I might wait to hear a couple reviews, but it's definitely on my radar. It's definitely one that I'm interested in. Okay, this next one is A Stage Set for Villains. This comes out February 3rd by Shannon J. Spann, another author I'm unfamiliar with. Why is this on here, you ask? Sam, I thought these were just books you were only super anticipating, like the ones you were really excited for. Why so many authors you've never heard of? Because this is pitched as Caraval meets One Dark Window. That's it. That's all I got. I love both of those books. Both of those books are 5-star series. Both of those books are, like, my favorite things. One Dark Window was my favorite book of last year. Caraval is the reason that I am reading as much as I do, is the reason I have a channel. Like, it really has changed my life and my brain chemistry forever. So, like, obviously, if you're gonna pitch me a book that's Caraval, I'm gonna probably pick it up. All gods are dead. All that's left are the players. I love that. I love that so much. It's kind of giving Critical Role Campaign 4, No Gods. What's going on? I'm here for this. I'm so here for this. You don't understand. Okay, next up is another hesitant one. We've got Weaving Shaw by Heba Al-Wasiti. In this debut gothic fantasy, the first book in an enthralling fantasy romance trilogy, a young woman who can see the dead strikes a deal with the magnetic and dangerous purveyor of dark secrets to save her brother's life. So Weaving Shaw is like the manor that she's going to. I'm kind of getting similar vibes to Phantasma, where it's like you go to a manor, you make a deal with a ghost, a demon, a thing. And I just like that as a concept already. So I'm kind of just intrigued by this. 3 years ago, Lena Alsayer awoke to a terrible power. She can see the dead. Since then, she has hidden herself from the world, knowing that if she ever reveals her curse, she'll be locked away into an asylum. So maybe a little bit historical. When her beloved brother Rami falls fatally ill, Lena is faced with the terrible let him die or buy the expensive medicine that will save his life by bartering the only valuable thing she has left, her secret. The Saint of Silence, a ruthless merchant who trades in confessions and is shrouded in unearthly rumor of cruelty and power, accepts her bargain for a deadly price. Lena must find the ghost of Percival Avon, the last lord of Weavingshaw, or lose her freedom to the Saint forever. As Lena's search takes her and the Saint to Weavingshaw, she finds the estate and surrounding moors to be the living things, hungry for blood and sacrifice. Fighting against Weavingshaw's might, Lena must also fight her growing pull towards the enigmatic saint himself, whose connection to Percival Avon remains a mystery. As the house begins to entomb them, time is running out on their desperate hunt for answers. For Lena has come to see that here in Weavingshaw, the dead are not hushed, and some secrets are better left buried with them. It just sounds intriguing. I love a gothic manor. I love secrets. It just sounds good. I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to this one. I normally like Del Rey, so who knows. This next one, so excited. C.G. Drews has apparently 2 books coming out next year. What the heck? I'm only going to talk about one for now. My next one will be in my second quarter, or I guess second half of the year. Anticipated releases. The first one we're getting is March 17th. You Did Nothing Wrong. C.G. Drews' adult debut. A relentless horror-inducing psychological suspense for fans of the Push, Baby... no. Oh no. I didn't know. I don't love that it's for the Push and Baby Teeth fans, because like those are 2 books that I've never had an interest in reading whatsoever because of their topics. Single mother Elodie's life has become a fairy tale. She's met Bren, equal parts golden retriever, devoted, and sinfully handsome. He's whisked her and her autistic son Jude to the crumbling family house he's renovating. She has a new husband, a new house, and a new baby on the way. Everything is perfect. Then Jude claims he can hear voices in the walls. He says the renovations are hurting the house. Even Elodie can't ignore it. Something strange is going on. The question is it with the house or with her son? Then one secret Elodie has been hiding is revealed and no one is safe anymore. A pulse-pounding, clever take on a haunted house novel, You Did Nothing Wrong examines the complexity of motherhood and the twisted bonds of family as it races to its shocking end. I actually don't know about this one. I don't really care. It's so hard because like I really liked C.G. Drews' young adult, so there's very high hopes for this still. Like I've given 5 stars basically, so I don't see why I wouldn't try this. But I'm a little bit hesitant that it's like a very mother-focused story, but I also like books that are haunted housey. I'm definitely gonna give it a try, but I'm a little bit uncertain about how the topic is going to go down. But I say that I don't like pregnancy in books, and You Are Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White is a fantastic book. So like it's not so black and white. I don't really want to talk about this too much, but Ava Reid has a new book, and Anna Murata. I'm going to wait for reviews to come out. I've never read an Ava Reid, but I do think I might, maybe, potentially in the works, in the plans, is to do a dedicated vlog to Ava Reid and just like try to read the books that I'm interested in and that I have on my shelf especially. But it might be nice March 17th if I'm for sure not going to get to these in March because tax season, but who knows? We'll see. I'll try and get to this at some point in the year and like, you know, read all of her works and see how I like her. Another book I'm uncertain about is Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandra. Ro DeMarcus has never been afraid of the dead. Her power to summon spirits has always awed the guests of her esteemed family galas for as long as she can remember. Her future is certain, and her gift will be another shining jewel in the DeMarcusy legacy. But when she fails her realm's trial to keep her magic, she is deemed too dangerous for society and faces harrowing choices. Give up her gift or serve a punishment sentence aboard the Celestial, oh my god, I'm so excited. A luxurious magical cruise ship where staff members compete for guest votes to earn the coveted retrial. See, here's the thing. The reason that I was intrigued by this, not so much that it was a cruise, but it kind of feels a little bit Caravali, a little bit Midnight Hotel, Hotel Magnifique. It's kind of giving this shelf down here that you can rarely ever see. Those are like some of my favorite magical whimsy books, and this feels like it would fit perfectly on that shelf. And I think that's why I'm so excited for it. Like, it could be horrible. It does currently have 106 reviews with a 4.19, so like maybe it's gonna go good. Maybe I'm interested in it. March 10th, my girl, Kirsten White, is back with another book. This is The Fox and the Devil, which is a fantasy horror with some romance. An obsession with a beautiful serial killer entangles a vampire hunter's daughter and an immortal sapphic romance in this enthralling gothic fantasy. Now this one seems to be more in line with Lucy Undying, which is, I think, a little bit more broadly accepted by readers, whereas I loved Mr. Magic and I really enjoyed Hyde. I just recently read Knock Knock Open Wide and I could not help but think about Mr. Magic while I was reading it. And I liked Lucy Undying. I think it was like around a 3.5, 4-star book for me. I did really enjoy it, but I can understand why people who like Dracula might get more out of it. But it's one of those things where it's like some people are really gonna like it, some people really aren't. But I feel like that's just this author with most people anyway. But we've got The Fox and the Devil, and I'm looking forward to it. I've given this author nothing but high ratings. There's just something about them that really works for me. I know, unpopular opinion, but like I just can't help it. Anika has a complicated relationship with her father, doctor, scientist, and madman devoted to studying vampires, up until the night she comes home to find him murdered, with a surreally beautiful woman looming over his body. A woman who leaves no trace behind, other than the dreams and nightmares that plague Anika every night. Spurred by her desire for vengeance and armed with the latest in forensic and investigatory techniques, Anika puts together a team of detectives to catch the mysterious serial killer. Her father isn't the only inexplicably dead body. My goodness, that word is hard. There's a trail of victims across Europe, and Anika is certain they're all connected. The closer Anika gets to the devil, though, the less sense the world makes. Maybe her father wasn't a madman after all. Diavola might be something much worse than a serial killer, and much harder to destroy. Because as Anika unearths more of Diavola's tragic past, she suspects there's still a heart somewhere in that undead body. A heart that beats for Anika alone. I love it. I know, like, not everybody's here for, like, the vampire romance that's, like, fantasy and horror. This one definitely leans less horror, it seems. But I can't even complain. Like, I did like the romance and Lucy Undying for the most part. So I'm just really looking forward to this. Next up we have The Library of Amerlin. This is the first book in the Age of Beasts series by Kaylin Josephson. Former con artist Kassira expected to spend her life as a soldier, miserably working off her prison sentence by hunting down magical creatures for the fantastical kingdom of Kalthos. But the Kalish ambassador arrives, so many K names. The Kalish ambassador arrives with a non-negotiable assignment. Kassira finds herself swept into the biggest con of her life, infiltrating the Library of Amerlin. Swept into the enchanting world of the library, Kassira's reluctant con is jeopardizing by her growing affection for the wondrous life the library promises, and by her complicated, begrudgingly attraction to Alistair. As the ambassador's game closes in, Kassira must decide where her loyalties lie, to her newfound home or to her own survival. I'm very intrigued. This is adult romantasy. I like library-focused books. I think we all kind of do. There's like a soft spot for books that are about books, about authors, about readers. There's just something special there. So I'm looking forward to this one. I cannot wait to hear more about it. I also really like the cover for this one, so. Okay, next we have a new Alexis Henderson. I've really enjoyed her works in the past. I really love The Year of the Witching. I liked Academy for Liars, and I liked House of Hunger. I'm intrigued to see if this one, I probably won't. This is a young adult, actually. So it probably won't be in the Literally Dead book club, but When I Was Death, released March 3rd, a group of teenage girls does Death Incarnate's binding in this haunting, speculative young adult novel by the author of The Year of the Witching, like I just said. Rosalind Volk isn't herself anymore. It's been a year since her sister Adeline died in the woods under mysterious circumstances, and Rosalind is still tormented by her absence. So when the elusive caravan of girls that Adeline spent her last summer with rolls back into town, Rosalind joins them to finally figure out what happened to her sister. Strange, beautiful, and intriguing, the girls are closed off from the world, and as it turns out, they're brought together by a force more sinister than Rosalind's nightmares could have conjured, Death himself. Death has spared the girls from untimely endings, and to pay for their lives, the girls travel the country reaping souls on his behalf. Now Rosalind must decide if finding closure is worth the price of striking the same deal. Interesting. It's kind of giving, in some ways, maybe like The Death of Julie Chan. I feel like a lot of, I don't want to call it a cult book, but cult adjacent with, doing some reaping. I don't know. I'm very intrigued. I've liked this author in the past. Like, it just makes sense that I would put her on my list. A quick one I'm not going to get too into, but Alex Astor has a new series coming out next year, March 31st. I'm intrigued because apparently, I literally have right next to me. Oro and Grimm. I'm about to start my read of these. But anywho, Crown Tide just recently came out, and apparently Crown Tide is not the last book in the series. There's going to be 5 books in total. So that is still hopefully going to come out in 26, and we can wrap up the whole series. But in between, I guess we're going to be getting a dystopian romantasy, because those are quite popular right now, so it makes sense. But obviously, trends come and go. I don't want to say that Silver Elite started the trend necessarily, but I have noticed there's been a trend in dystopian romantasies, and Silver Elite definitely came at the beginning of it, even if it's not the best book ever. And so it does seem like a lot of authors are coming out with these books, and I just need to remind people that people are writing books sometimes for years before they're published. So just because it's a trend doesn't mean that it was a rush job. So I'm continuously going to be an Alex Astor defender. What can I say? And I'm also going to say that I'm not really a big dystopian fan. I like them sometimes. I find that they're kind of hard for me to fully engage with. I feel like sometimes it's a little bit too shallow or not quite probing the right conversations, and I just kind of want more from them. But who knows? Alex Astor might be the right one. She might do it the way. This is adult, which is also exciting. I don't think she has an adult series out, so I'm definitely expecting more spice, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Another book that is very short to the point, we've got Sing the Night, the first book in the Opera Magnique series. Again, remember that shelf I was telling you about? This one's gonna go there. It fits in perfectly. We've got Sing the Night is a gothic fantasy in which the ambitious soprano makes a Faustian bargain with the ghost trapped in a mirror to win a magical singing competition and restore her dead father's legacy, pitched as Phantom of the Opera meets the Night Circus. I did not like Phantom of the Opera, the book, sorry. Was not for me, but I love the musical with Gerard Butler. It's like one of my favorite musicals of all time. Night Circus, one of my favorite books of all time. Literally on this shelf right now as we speak. Yes. This book, yes. Me, absolute. I'm the target audience. This book is for me. And then we have April 28th, The Ballad of Falling Dragons, the second book in the Moonfall series following When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I'm really looking forward to this. I really enjoyed When the Moon Hatched. I know it's like complex. It's incredibly convenient. The plot is kind of just happening. Our character doesn't have any agencies. I have a lot of issues with the book, but with that said, I also really loved the world and how obviously Sarah A. Parker knows the world a hell of a lot better than she explained it in the book. And that's often an issue with like ambitious, high fantasy type of stories where sometimes the author knows the world so much better than we do and it's not fully explained. But I really enjoyed When the Moon Hatched. It really did feel like a D&D campaign. Like, yeah, the character didn't quite have as much agency, so, like, it felt like the DM was really guiding to be like, okay, newbie, you don't really know what you're doing. We're just gonna kind of carry you along with the story. And I didn't hate it. I actually had a lot of fun with it, even though I have many critiques about it. So I'm excited to see how it continues. I do think that this got picked up traditionally published, so I haven't read if like the first book got proper edits or anything, but I am excited to see if like maybe she's progressed and gotten better at this writing. Maybe the world will be further explained. I really love the god and magic system in it, so like complex feelings. I'm really looking forward to it though. Finally, we get to talk about my first and so far only pre-order of 2026, Rights of the Starling by Devney Perry. This is the sequel to Shield of Sparrows. I fucking love that book. I love that book so much. Yeah, she has a lot of questions. Her name's I think Ophelia. She asks so many questions. She's a very curious character, and I actually rather enjoyed that about her. I can understand why that could be annoying, but I actually liked it. I love the world. I love the little monsters. They're kind of cute, but also kind of scary. I love living in a treehouse village. That's the coolest thing ever. Really adored it. Love the characters a lot. Yeah, just a really good time. So this is going to be the sequel. I'm really looking forward to it. There's really nothing more to say. I cannot wait. I will get my hands on this and probably read it as soon as possible. The next 2 books that we're going to talk about are potential, highly likely, literally dead book club picks from Kayla. So that's how one of them came on my radar. The other one is like kind of a companion sequel situation. So the first one we have is The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark, a compulsive debut mystery, the brilliant and diabolical creation of Kat Clark and V.E. Schwab. 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives. Smart, original, and completely addictive. The Ending Writes Itself is both a great locked room mystery thriller and a brilliant satire of the publishing industry. An absolute must read by Karen Slaughter. So I'm very intrigued. It's going to be fun because we get to like discuss it. And it's kind of fun because 2 years ago we had the writing retreat. Last year we had, or I guess this year, I'm already in the future. This year we had this book, and in 26 it looks like we're going to have the ending rights itself. So it just seems to be a nice little theme that we're following author retreats right now, and I think that's really fun. This next one is the kind of companion sequel in the same world as We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. Really fantastic horror book if you're looking for one. But The Caretaker is set in the same world. I think both of these were written on like a creepypasta Reddit type forum of scary stories. I'm very intrigued. I don't want to know anything about it, so I'm not reading you the synopsis, but this comes out April 21st. I can't wait. I'm very excited. The next one I have comes out April 14th. The day before tax day. I'll never see April 15th the same way ever again in my life because it's just now associated with taxes. But anyway, we've got Deathly Fates by Tessia Sai, and this is a sweeping debut inspired by Chinese folklore practicing necromancy. Deathly Fates is perfect for fans of Descendants of the Crane, The Bone Shard Daughter, and A Magic Steeped in Poison. Two of those I didn't really love, and one of them I haven't read, so that's not like the highest of hopes for me, but I loved A Forgery of Fate so much that I'm kind of just going to chase any Chinese folklore fairy tale right now until I can find more. I'm chasing that high, if you will. So this is a debut. I'm looking forward to it. I got nothing else to say. I'm also very intrigued with necromancy. I think necromancy is great and cool, so I want more of it. Next up, we've got The Tapestry of Fate. This needs really no introduction. We've got the second book in the Amina Al-Sarafi world. I just can't wait. I can't wait. This comes out May 19th. I cannot wait. I've been waiting so long. It's been, I think, 2 years since we got The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, and I love that book. It was in like my top 10 of the year. I'm so excited to go back. I cannot wait to do a reread. It's going to be so much fun. It's just such a fun pirate adventure. It's kind of like Kings of the Wild and like the band is back together situation, like one last hurrah, so that we can have enough money to just like live a comfortable life with my daughter and like no worries. But obviously we go on more adventures and it's just so fun. It's such a fun book. I highly recommend it. Next up, we've got Deathbringer. This comes out May 12th. It says it's perfect for fans of Naomi Novik and Carrie Maniscalco, a dark academy romantasy steeped in necromancy, forbidden love, and a twisty murder mystery set within the perilous halls of the Magical Institute as a death mage who hates her magic and a poison mage who hates her are forced to work together to stop a killer before one of them is next. I'm just really intrigued. I love a dark academia. I like romantasy. I like necromancy. I really enjoyed A Deadly Education. I've enjoyed Carrie Maniscalco so far. I can't wait to read more from her. So, like, this just sounds right up my alley. I think I definitely need to be like, hey, Chloe, buddy read? Like, this is maybe the perfect one for us. Oh, interesting. So, it says at the bottom, expected publishing date April 30th, but at the top it says May 26th. So, I'm not sure when it actually comes out, but, like, keep an eye out. End of April, early May. The next up we have, I guess, a companion sequel. I'm intrigued to see what this is about. This is The Midnight Train. I'm assuming same world as The Midnight Library. That's what it is. I'm assuming it's all like in the same world, but like it's a train instead of the library. When your life flashes before your eyes, where would you stop? No one can change the past, but the Midnight Train can take you there. A chance to relive the moments that meant the most. To see what kind of person you really were. For Wilbur, his best days were with Maggie, the love of his life, on his honeymoon in Venice, before he gave it all away. He wishes he could go back and live differently, but to do so risks everything. A magical time-traveling love story from the author of The Midnight Library. I don't know if it's in the same world. The cover is very similar, so it seems like yes. I don't think there's going to be any crossover, though. I like The Midnight Library. I read it at the right time, where all the quotes really hit, and yeah, it maybe felt like a Pinterest board, but it just really worked for me. And I'm excited to see The Midnight Train, but The Midnight Train is kind of giving more Before the Coffee Gets Cold vibes, which also I'm a fan of. I really like that magical realism stuff. So it could really go either way. Like, it could be a hit and it will definitely like hit hard for me and I'll relate to it and I'll probably cry, or it won't be the right time and I'm just gonna be like, you know? But this comes out May 26th. Next up is a romance, a young adult romance contemporary that I'm so excited for. It's Roles and Rivalry, Book 3 in the Gaming and Romance series by Christy Boyce. The first one being Dating and Drama, Dungeons and Drama, and the next one being Dating and Dragons. So now we've got Roles and Rivalry. I'm assuming it's going to be also, we've got Hazel and Max, I think. And it's a band camp, which is fun. But none of these are connected, which is kind of annoying. Like, you read the second book and it's not the same couple as the first. They're not even friends. Like, it's set in the same universe in the sense that, like, they're all D&D inspired romances, but, like, they have nothing to do with each other. But I have a lot of fun with them. I've enjoyed them all in the past. This comes out May 5th. All right, everybody, we need to hold a moment of silence for the cover of this book. This is A Girl with a Thousand Faces by Sunyi Dean. Bestselling author of Book Eaters, which I have not read, comes The Girl with a Thousand Faces, a gothic tale set in historical Hong Kong that meshes with ancient myths and a local legend into a haunting story of ghosts, grief, and women who will not forgive. I'm just really excited. It's fantasy, it's horror, it's historical, it's adult. I cannot wait. I have a definite interest in reading Book Eaters. It was one of those things like wanted to do for so long and then kind of just fell to the back burner while I watched other people read it, and a lot of mixed reviews. Some people really enjoyed it, some people so about it. So like I don't have any like bad feelings towards it. I just haven't picked it up yet. So I definitely want to do that, but I'm also very intrigued by this next book. Next up we have The Bone Door by Frances White. We don't have a lot of information here, but May 7th, how far will you go to open the bone door? When Hop awakens in an ancient labyrinth, he has no memory of his life or how indeed he got here. He does not recognize the mysterious girl trapped with him, and he certainly cannot identify the shadowy figure stalking him, whispering terrible things. But there's one thing he is certain of: he must escape. The only way out of the labyrinth is through the bone door, but it lies behind a series of locked doors hidden across an array of realms. As Hop travels deeper into the maze, he discovers that he and his companions may be more connected to the place and its horrors than he could ever imagine. I'm very intrigued. I definitely want to hear more about this. I don't know a lot. It's not giving much, but it's kind of giving Pure Nessie in a way. Really intrigued about this one. Next is another incredibly high anticipated release. We've got Bone of My Bone by Jonah Van Veen. Author of My Darling Dreadful Thing and Blood on Her Tongue. Kind of obsessed. Kind of one of my favorite horror authors up and coming. Like, cannot wait to read this. I don't really want to know a whole lot about this one. I just kind of want to jump in as soon as it comes out. May 26th. I cannot wait. Hopefully it's an aardvark pick and I can get it pretty quick. I'm really excited though. I really enjoyed this author, so it's just like a given. Alright, we have 3 left. Next one is The Secret World of Briar Rose by fellow YouTuber and booktuber Cindy Pham. A lush, immersive queer sleeping beauty retelling about escapism, grief, and dreaming of a better world. As imagined by YouTube star Cindy Pham. I wonder if Cindy put that in there. I would assume not. I'm sure that's probably the editor, but intrigued. Definitely looking forward to this. I think it's really cool to see booktubers and YouTubers in general like write books. It's cool. I'm definitely intrigued. I like Cindy as a booktuber. I like her takes. I think that Cindy's very funny. I'm gonna read it. That's simple as that. Next up is another one that I'm not like for sure set on, but we have Doe by Rebecca Barrow. This cover, gorgeous, obsessed, loving it. Thrilling crossover YA horror, perfect for fans of Crystal Sutherland and Tiffany Jackson, where the captain of a high school cheer team is caught in a bitter rivalry and turns to an ancient supernatural creature for help, not knowing she's just made a deal with the devil and could lose everything that matters, including her life. The synopsis is pretty long, so I'm not going to really get into it, but I do enjoy a good young adult horror. I'm definitely intrigued by this. And then the last one, finally, we have The Heirs, expected June 2nd. This is the same author who wrote Ace of Spades and that other one. They had another book come out in between that didn't get quite as good reviews as Ace of Spades. I have not read anything from this author, but I would really like to. But this is a mystery about 5 teen geniuses. Their billionaire father and they're all siblings? Interesting. And the investigation into his murder. Perfect for fans of the Inheritance games, Netflix, The Residence, and Holly Jackson. I like a lot of those things. 5 prodigies, 1 dead father, and a mansion full of suspects. Octavius the maestro, Fola the brain, Bilal the Olympian, Perdita the artist, and Romeo the failure. Okay, well that doesn't feel like a prodigy then. These are the 5 heirs of the illustrious billionaire Leontes Button, adopted and viciously trained by their father's famous Button method to prove his hypothesis for creating prodigies, child geniuses. The Button siblings have had no choice but to be brilliant according to their father's impossibly high standards, kind of giving the Umbrella Academy, until he is murdered at his annual prodigy ball. I love a ball. Now, all who attend the ball are required to stay in the Button Manor while the police investigate. But the officers have their work cut out for them. Each of the Button siblings have something to hide, and the heirs aren't the only ones with secret. After all, Leontes Button was especially good at making enemies. I'm really intrigued. I like the Inheritance games. I liked the Umbrella Academy, which is kind of giving less superhero vibes of that. I like The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, also author of the Inheritance games, so it makes sense. Feels right up that alley. And I just think they're like a good time So definitely intrigued. Definitely gonna keep an eye on this one. But that is all of them. Oh my goodness. Whew. Those are all the books that I'm interested in so far for the first half of the year. I'm gonna go rest my voice. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a little like teacup saucer for the airs because it's on the cover in the comments down below. And I will see you guys, I think, tomorrow for the next Bookmas video. Bye!